Hello, children. Today we will start our chapter 4, Sorting Materials into Groups. In this chapter, we will learn objects around us, properties of materials. So, our chapter name is Sorting Materials into Groups. Do you know what is the meaning of sorting? Sorting means to separate things of one type from other, or placing or separate things of one type from other. Look at the picture given here. You can see a storeroom picture here. Another supermarket picture is here. Okay. We all go to shopping mall or supermarket to buy things, right? Do you notice how the things are arranged in the malls, shops, and even our houses? The things are arranged in such a way that we can easily find out the things what we are searching. Right? In our home, we arrange things on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities. You have noticed that your mummy has arranged similar items like pulses in a section, masala in another section, and utensils in another side, right? We do not keep our clothes in the kitchen. Anybody keeping your clothes in the kitchen? No. We keep our clothes in our cupboard only. Similarly, for keeping books, we have study table or study cupboard. Book rack we have, right? So, there is a specific place for everything. So, the process of grouping things on the basis of the similarities and dissimilarities is called classification. What do you mean by classification? The process of grouping similar things in a place. Okay, that is classification. The process of grouping things on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities is called classification. And why do we classify things? Why we are classify the things? The things are grouped together for their convenience and to study their properties. Okay. For example, we want to fill some water in a bottle. Which type of bottle we will take? We take a cotton cloth bottle? No. Why? Because cotton cloth does not hold water. Right? Cotton cloth does not hold water. For filling the water, we have to take glass bottle, plastic bottle, like that. Okay. So, every material has a property. Every material has its own properties. So, that is why we are grouping the things. We can use several criteria to group objects. In this chapter, we will learn about the ways of grouping things or materials based on characteristics such as appearance, hardness, solubility, flotation, transparency, conduction of heat, and conduction of electricity. Properties of materials. First of all, you see, what do you mean by material? Material is a substance that can be used for making or doing something. Okay? Material is a substance that can be used for making or doing something. For example, cloth. We know cloth is a material. It is used for making dresses. Plastic is a material. It is used for making many things. Okay? So, you already know that different objects are made from different kinds of materials. On the other hand, an object can be made from different kinds of material. Plates, for example, are made from wood, glass, steel, paper, plastic and ceramic. We can make plate from different types of materials like wood, glass, wood plate is there, glass plate is there, steel, paper, plastic and ceramic plate also is there, right? You will often find that the same material is used to make several kinds of things. Then what decides the use of material? How can we decide the use of a particular material? The properties of the material decide its uses. A material has some properties that decides its uses. As I said before, we can't use a cotton cloth to fill a water. Why? Because a cotton cloth does not hold water. So we can't use it for filling the water, right? So the properties of the material decide its uses. For example, cooking utensils are made of metals because metals do not break easily, and more importantly, they are good conductors of heat. Materials that allow heat or pass through them quickly are called good conductors of heat. Usually, cooking utensils are made of metals. Why? Because metals do not break easily and they are good conductors of heat. Similarly, wood is an ideal material for making home furniture and boards. It is a hard material, but it is soft enough to hammer nails into it. It can be cut and polished. Why we are using wood for the home furniture? Because it is hard material and it is soft also. It is soft enough to hammer nails into it. It can be cut and polished. Okay. So it is therefore important to have a knowledge of the properties of materials. So we should know enough knowledge of the properties of materials. So some of the properties are given here. In this chapter, we have to learn some of the properties of material. Which are they? They are appearance, hardness, soluble or insoluble, object may float or sink, transparency, conduction of heat, conduction of electricity. These are the some of the properties. First property is appearance. Appearance means how the materials looks like. Okay. Materials look different from each other. Plastic look different from paper. Paper appears different from wood. Iron looks different from aluminium, and so on. There may be certain similarities between iron and aluminium which may not be present in plastic. We can thus classify materials on the basis of appearance. Okay. Here luster. Luster means shine. Okay. Metals like silver and gold have a shine, whereas wood does not have that much shine. Similarly, synthetic clothes have a shine, whereas woolen clothes do not have a shine. That we already learned in the which lesson? Fiber to fabric. Silk clothes shine, cotton cloth does not shine. Okay, there is a difference like that. It is generally seen that metals like aluminium, iron, copper, silver and gold show luster. Wood and paper, being non-metals, do not show luster. Some metals lose their shine and appear dull when exposed to air and moisture. Some metals may lose their shine, their luster, disappear their luster because of the exposure to air and moisture. An iron rod appears dull, but when it is rubbed with sandpaper, the top layer gets removed and it appears lustrous. Okay, when we cut or when we rubbed with the sandpaper, the top layer gets removed and it appears luster. Therefore, to see whether a material is lustrous or not, we must observe freshly cut surface of the material. If the freshly cut surface is shiny, then the material is lustrous. We can't say simply looking at the material and we can't say that it is lustrous or not. Why? Because metals lose their shine and appear dull when exposed to air and moisture. So, what we have to do is we must observe freshly cut surface of the material. If the freshly cut surface is shiny, then the material is lustrous. Materials can thus be divided on the basis of lustrous. Most of the metals are lustrous. Next property is hardness. Hardness is divided into soft material and hard material. Okay. Some materials such as metals, diamonds, plastic, glass, wood and rocks are hard. Hard materials such as glass, some kinds of plastic and some rocks may break easily. Whereas metals, wood and some plastics do not break easily. Materials such as paper, wool, cotton and rubber are soft. Soft materials such as rubber can be compressed. What do you mean by compressed? To make something fill less space than usual. Okay. Soft materials can be compressed. Next one, object may float or sink in water. Look at this picture. some materials are floating and some materials sunk in water, right? When a wooden object or a plastic ball is placed in water, it floats. Do you know why? Why a wooden object or a plastic ball floats on water? Because they are lighter than water. Materials which are lighter than water floats on water. So they float on water. A pumice stone floats on water. A piece of rock, a metal nail, an iron ball and a pin sink in water because they are heavier than water. Next is soluble or insoluble. We know that salt, sugar, all this material soluble in water, whereas sand is not soluble in water. Substances such as salt and sugar that are soluble in water are called soluble substances. And substances such as sand and sawdust that do not mix with water even on stirring are called insoluble substances. And in the case of liquids, liquids that dissolve in water are said to be miscible liquid. Examples are honey, fruit juices, vinegar. And liquids that do not dissolve in water are said to be immiscible liquids. Examples: petrol, kerosene oil, etc. When a material dissolves in a liquid, it forms a solution. What is solution? When a material dissolves in a liquid, it forms a solution. So, understood this soluble and insoluble. Next is transparency. We can see through some materials like glass, but we cannot see through a wooden door. This is because some materials like glass allow light to pass through them. On the basis of this property, materials can be classified into three categories, that is transparent, opaque and translucent. Objects which allow light to pass through them are called transparent. See the picture here, transparent picture. We can see the face of that boy, right, through this glass because it is transparent. We can see through such object. Some examples of transparent materials are glass, water, air and some plastics. That is why biscuits, sweets and other edible items are kept in glass or plastic containers by the shopkeepers so that they are easily seen by the customers. Okay. Now materials like wood, metal, cardboard, etc. do not allow light to pass through them and they are called opaque. This here we cannot see the face because that light does not pass through the opaque object. We cannot see through this material. Can you tell what is kept in cardboard or a tin box without opening them? No, we cannot say. There are some materials through which we can see but not very clearly. Look at here. Look at the picture. Translucent glass. Look, they allow light to pass through them only partially. Some examples are frosted glass in bathroom windows, butter paper, tissue paper, etc. These are the examples of translucent materials. Such materials allow light to pass through them only partially. Next is conduction of heat and conduction of electricity. This property is not given in your textbook, but this is also a property of materials. Okay. To conduct means to transfer heat or electricity. Conduct means transfer. Some matter has the ability to transfer heat. Such matter is called good conductor of heat. Most metals are good conductors of heat. Such materials allow heat energy to pass through them. Okay, such materials are called good conductors of heat. Now, second is some materials do not allow heat transfer to occur through them. Such materials are called poor conductors of heat. Wood, plastic are poor conductors of heat. Okay. Now, same way, conduction of electricity. Some matter has the ability to transfer electricity efficiently. Such a matter is called good conductor of electricity. Most metals are good conductors of electricity. Dry wood and plastic are examples of matter that do not conduct electricity. So we have now seen that materials can be grouped on the basis of similarities or differences in their properties. We group materials to make our work easy at home and at school. In a kitchen, all the utensils are kept together, so are the spices and pulses. This makes it easier to find what we need. Similarly, a grocer keeps different variety of soap together, biscuit in one place and cold drinks and juices in another. Such an arrangement makes it easy to locate various items. So this is about this chapter. We have completed this chapter. Thank you.